Ladies and gentlemen, the unthinkable is happening. A Lagoon competition has taken place, and we are in the grand final of the Lagoon Champions Cup right here with the 4 players that have prevailed: Kulisa, Lars, Mime, and Piotrunio. These 4 players have competed in this entire competition, day in, day out. It was actually just one day, but they have competed in here and they turned out to be the fastest and the most consistent players of Lagoon. Now we shall see who will be the fastest one out of all. We're gonna play a regular cup mode competition here in Lagoon. Maps built by the community, mainly by the hoster Bresso, and 1 map built by Zengo, which you see right here. We have 4 maps in the map pool, and the point limit is 120. We're gonna play 4 rounds per map, then we switch to the next one, and there is a prize pool as well that the players are fighting for. 15 euro for first place, 10 for second, and 5 for third. 4th place will win a piece of aluminum foil, so that's also really sick. And this is gonna be the beginning of the match. First map by Zengo, Omniphobia, a map which is highly technical, just like pretty much every other map in the map pool. And this one combines many different surfaces that Lagoon has to offer. We're starting on road, we have some grass pieces, we have some wood, we have some beach as well. So here we go with the first round. Kulisa and Lars will start with 10 points straight away. They came from the semi-finals as the winning player. They have won their respective semi-finals, so as an advantage they will go into the grand final with 10 points. And that is already quite a nice advantage to go into. Very nice start here for all of the drivers. I'm actually going to switch to cam 1 here. We see German player Lars, who is actually the only German player in the grand final here. All of the other 3 competitors are from Poland. So Poland is actually being represented here nicely by Piotrunio, Kulisa, and Mime. And we see Kulisa with the first big mistake here on the inside of that wood part, going into the checkpoint support pillar. And with that, he will drop down to last place. German player Lars right now on first place, looking hot and spicy. No, but he gets a slowdown on the beach section, and he will get passed by Piotrunio and Mime. Piotrunio will even pop in the horn here, will win the first 10 points. Mime with 6, Lars with 4, and Kulisa with 3 points here. And Lars putting the question marks in the chat. What has happened there? I think he went a little bit too tightly onto that beach section and touched some type of rock or something. But that was an unfortunate end to a very good run by Lars. Round number 2 underway. We have a tight beginning here, where precision is very rewarded. And also here in the tarmac turns, we see Piotrunio now touching the wall on the inside. You can gain a lot of time by going close to the walls there. Lars going wide, hitting the wall on the outside as well, and that will leave us with 2 drivers at the front. Kulisa snapping onto the road piece. Mime holds that drift for a little bit longer. Oh, that's going to be a tight angle for Kulisa, and he's dead. Kulisa is dead. Goes out wide onto the grass, and he will drop down to last. And Mime is the only player who didn't make a mistake, and he will drop very nicely into the 180 wood part here. We have a short beach section. Not the greatest line there. Oh god, that was wonky by Mime, but he will have no competition in this round. He will finish with a 101.882. Piotrunio on P2, Lars on 3rd, and Kulisa will be able to reach the finish line and gets 3 points. So now we have quite a change in the scoreboard. Lars is still leading, but only by 2 points. All of his other opponents are sitting there at 16. We're playing till 120 with finalist mode, so it's a very typical way of hosting a TrackMania competition. But now, of course, the difference is that we're playing in Lagoon, and that doesn't happen very often. In fact, this is the first solo Lagoon competition, apart from things like XDRace or Mania Exchange Knockouts. Oh, Piotrunio with a huge mistake, and he will not even make that transition onto the tarmac part. So that is a big setback for Piotrunio, who's sitting here with 16 points. And that will be a big, big F for Piotrunio. Mime and Lars fighting for that first place. Here into that wood part, we see Lars with a little bit more exit speed. And everything will be decided on the last part. Mime with a very nicely executed 180 second. Also, Kulisa is now contesting that second place. Mime is going a bit wide, losing some speed here. Lars with the inside line, going over that water a little bit. Lars has a lot of speed. Is he going to be able to go for that overtake on the last straight? We have a top 3 situation here, and it's only 0.03 of a second between Mime, Kulisa, and Lars. What a battle right here. It almost looked like Lars might have the upper hand there at the exit of the last turn, but he was not able to properly capitalize from that. But great effort by Lars either way. Mime almost lost it on the beach part. And for those who don't know, I can maybe quickly pick up on it here. But yeah, for those who don't know the Lagoon physics very much, driving through the water is actually faster. But you need to make sure that you don't dive into it too much, because then you will just, you know, get a slowdown. Ooh, Lars with a mistake. He led the run up until that point and then hit the wall. Also, Piotrunio has made a mistake. Mime is dead as well. So this round is cluttered compared to the previous round we have just seen here. Kulisa is now alone in the lead. He should definitely not throw this away, because at the moment he's sitting there with a whopping 22 points. Every point matters. And the 10 pointers in this point distribution are very, very important. The positions look to be set in stone. Kulisa, however, not with the greatest beach part there either, but he can definitely afford that. He lost 0.3 there. Finishes with a 101.8. Piotrunio on second, Lars on third, and Mime finishing on last. And that will conclude map 1 after 4 rounds being played. So now we're going on to the second map here. We have a compact built by Bresso, who is of course the organizer of the Lagoon Champions Cup, who went ahead and organized something in the most dead TrackMania environment, unfortunately. But here we are, watching these drivers compete for the title. What's interesting about Lagoon, for those who are maybe not familiar with the environment, which I don't blame you for, because Lagoon is the least popular one. It is the least played one either. But yeah, for those who maybe don't know a lot about Lagoon, it looks a bit like a mixture of bay and snow, but the physics are actually completely different. So you cannot really draw the comparison to equivalently looking environments like bay and snow, because Lagoon has a completely different and separate set of physics. So the Lagoon car, for example, does not slide when you steer a lot. Unless you get up to speeds like 600 plus, then the Lagoon car actually starts to slide. But we're not traveling at these high speeds, which means that the car has full grip no matter what, at least on tarmac. On wood, the car is actually sliding. It's kind of polished wood. It's very slippery. Then we have grass, of course, having its own set of physics, just like beach. So every surface has something different. Roller coasters also have tarmac physics, and on roller coasters we have certain techniques to increase acceleration that we also refer to as speed boosts. And there's one map that has quite a lot of roller coaster parts. This one, for the moment, not so much. But yeah, Lagoon, in fact, is a fast environment. It is a car that has a lot of grip. You can build maps that are super, super technical, that require a lot of fast reflexes, a lot of left-right direction changes, so not the easiest environment. And it's great to see the players compete on tracks of this high difficulty. However, this round is looking not so good for Mime and for Lars. Both of them finding themselves in the bottom 2 positions at the moment. And at the front we have the 2 Polish drivers. We see Kulisa dead right as I wanted to talk about him. Kulisa jumping too far right, lands on the barrier of the roller coaster part. And now it is Piotrunio alone in the lead, leading by a whole second. over Lars, who's currently on second place. We see Mime with an inside line through the toll booths. And one final jump, tearing the players apart. Everyone looking to have enough speed to pass this jump here to land smoothly in the slope. And there we have Piotrunio with a 103.06, which seems to be quite a good time here. Lars on second, Mime on third, and Kulisa will barely finish here. Ugh. There he goes. Kulisa completely dead. And we have a really, really close battle here. Piotrunio and Kulisa tied for first with 35 points. Mime with 33 and Lars with 32 right now on last place. But only 3 points between all 4 players. That is exciting, if I may say so myself. First little mistake being done by Piotrunio here. But not too much of a biggie as he recovers pretty much instantly. Kulisa and Mime hitting their foreheads. That is something you really want to avoid there. Not the greatest map design, if I may say so myself. And now we have a 1v1 situation between Lars and Piotrunio. 1600th of a second, we go through a bit of a roller coaster section. Not too many of those speed boost parts. Speed boosts usually happen on roller coaster parts that are twisting, bending, going up and down. Basically anything that's not straight. Oh, Piotrunio actually with the aggressive inside approach, but he pushes too much and hits the wall on the inside. Piotrunio will slide out there as a result and will get passed by his countryman Kulisa. Lars will take home the 10 points here, 102.8. 10 valuable points for the German player. Piotrunio on second, Kulisa on third. Kulisa must have made a mistake there. Oh, Mime flipping right in front of the finish. Does a little barrel roll right there for the entertainment purpose and will still be able to finish. And all of a sudden, the scoreboard is looking completely differently. Lars now from last to first. 42 points now for Lars. 41 for Piotrunio, 39 for Kulisa, and 36 for Mime. Everyone looking solidly. Oh, Mime touching the wall there on the inside. Lars does a front flip. He tapped the brake to force a nosedive and he actually front flipped. Lars will definitely not be amused about that one. And with that, he will be dead last. Piotrunio also with a mistake. And in the lead, we see Kulisa and Mime. So the thing about Lagoon, to maybe talk about the physics again, the brakes are incredibly strong. When you tap the brake, the car immediately comes to a stop almost. The brakes, they're like, you just stop, okay? You get rid of all of your speed. You tap me, and I work. It's a high quality brake that has been installed in the Lagoon cars here. And yeah, the car really... the car really changes its balance. Like the entire weight of the car shifts to the front when you hit the brakes. It's a bit like when you use the front brake of your bike and you just yeet forwards and face plant. And that's exactly what happened with Lars right there. Because the Lagoon car has front wheel brakes, which means that the weight gets transferred to the front wheels, and when you tap the brake just before a jump, it will actually cause a nosedive, but it can also cause a front flip. And that's how Lars died. So yeah, everyone laughing about him. And Kulisa is the one who goes out of that with a big smile on his face. 49 points now for Kulisa, and he will be the one leading the Lagoon Champions Cup for the moment. And also here we see Lars struggling with this map. Maybe that little mistake has put a little dent into his confidence. He is 1.3 seconds behind at the moment. Mime in the lead, Piotrunio on second, and Kulisa on third. Looks like the positions are pretty much set in stone here at the moment. Let's see if something's gonna happen at the end. Gotta pass those jumps here. Piotrunio actually jumping very far to the left. I wonder if that's on purpose, but he will stay on that second place, even though Kulisa came dangerously close right there. Only 500ths between the two Polish players on P2 and P3. Mime with 10, and from that, he will greatly benefit. He was last in the scoreboard and now he's second. So it's a big back and forth there at the moment, making for a super exciting match. At the moment, we cannot tell who's gonna win. It's straight up impossible. It is straight up impossible. We just don't know who's gonna take it here. All of the players have the potential, and we're not even halfway through. It is still a long way to go. The point limit is 120 with finalist mode. And at the moment it is 53 for Kulisa, 52 for Mime, 51 for Piotrunio, and 48 for Lars. So only 5 points between all 4 players. On to the next map we go. We have Grimhold by Bresso once again. A map that is purely wood-based. And for those who listened carefully earlier on, wood slides all the time. There's nothing you can do to avoid sliding on wood. It just happens. So it's not like one of those no-slide environments in TrackMania² where you can do, you know, smooth steering or tap the arrow keys very fast to avoid sliding. But here you always slide. Unless you drive on turbos. For example, here. On turbos, you have full grip, which is something that you can use to your advantage. And also, these white checkpoint stripes, they also have full grip. So, when you drive over parts like these, you need to ensure that you do not change direction, otherwise you will just snap to the other side and most likely lose control over your car. So, wood is something that you really need to master as well. We see Mime actually not passing the start. That's a big mistake here by Mime. One of the biggest ones we have seen in this entire competition. I wonder if he's even going to be able to reach the finish line. Here we see the players actually snap from a slide into a no slide because obviously not sliding is faster. Or at least more consistent. In certain occasions it is actually faster to slide, but that depends on the map and on the angle. Lagoon physics are pretty fucked up, I'm gonna be honest with you. But we see all of the players actually snapping out of their drift into a no-slide here at that booster section. Now we're coming up to the last part. We see Lars actually going for a very direct line, passing Piotrunio, who lost control over his car. Now you need to make sure that you straighten out the car to the finish jump. We see Kulisa making it successfully, so does Lars. Both of them will get P1 and P2. Piotrunio on third and Mime on last. So that will be 10 additional points for Kulisa, and with that he will extend his lead. 63 points now for Kulisa. I don't think we've had that big of a lead so far in the Lagoon Champions Cup. Then we have Piotrunio and Mime with 55, Lars with 54. Another interesting technique that this map makes use of is not what Lars just showed us, but it is a technique called gear boost. And a gear boost happens at very low speeds, and when you overturn the car, when you go under 100 kilometers an hour, you will get a boost. You can really see the car just snap forward, and that is what this map actually makes use of in the first couple of corners, the so-called gear boost. So when you have, let's say, a 180, you can just oversteer a slide and you will actually get a speed boost. Normally in Lagoon, sliding is not faster, but in this case you can actually make use of it. Now let's take a look at the final jump here. It is not easy to actually straighten out your car there, but Piotrunio, Kulisa and Mime all make it here. 57.1, 57.6 and 57.9. And then we have Lars finishing with a 101.120 on last place. Not the greatest thing here for Lars. Now the positions are spreading themselves a little bit further. And now take a look at the start. We have this big oversteer that Kulisa and Piotrunio have done. They took a much tighter line, and normally going tighter doesn't give you more speed, but in this case they did go tight on purpose to force that gear boost, and it really makes a difference. Mime now clipping one of these edges, will drop down. Piotrunio with a nice snap there, opts for a bit of a wider approach, and it did pay off here. He will pass Kulisa, but we have a nice fight here for that first place. Where's Kulisa's hotkey? Kulisa going a bit wide, but Piotrunio straight into the checkpoint pillar. And that is a big rip here for Piotrunio. who was set on second place. But here we see Mime with the attack on Lars. We have a long straight here. Lars with a very low speed. And Mime will take advantage from that. Goes dangerously close to that wall. And now we have the last jump here. Mime hitting his forehead on the traffic light there. On the pole. And he will not even be able to unturtle there. Mime will die right in front of the finish line. That hurts. Big rip for Mime, and Piotrunio also barely able to reach the finish line there. What a plot twist. And Lars will, of course, capitalize on that. And now the start, once again, go super, super tight. Kulisa, best example right there. He went the tightest, he got the most speed. You need that oversteer. We don't quite know why that happens, but it just happens. You just get that boost. Because there is a gear change exactly at 100 kilometers an hour. And normally gears don't matter in the Lagoon environment. Neither do they in environments like Canyon or Valley. And for those who don't know, Canyon, Valley, and Lagoon are all based on the same set of physics. Just with different properties, with different acceleration, turning radius, blah blah blah. And yeah, Lagoon has this, which is very interesting. Kulisa leading once again. Kulisa is really, really good on wood. Beating Kulisa on wood is extremely difficult. He also holds several world records on wood Nadeo maps. And his expertise shows right here. Kulisa winning another round right here with a 56.715. That is a very, very fast time. Lars almost passing Piotrunio midair in the end. Only 0.02 of a second apart from each other. And then there's Mime on last. So, Lagoon has a couple of very interesting things that enable you to gain speed. And we're now going into the night. Lagoon in night mood right here. We have LCC going sideways by Bresso. Another very technical map. With some fast roller coasters as well. You will see that. And at the moment, the score is still pretty close. Even though the previous map, the wood map, has really put a big dent into Lars and Mime, their scores. Kulisa is now leading with 89 points, looking to win the Lagoon Champions Cup at the moment. He was, of course, handled as one of the favorites. Because he plays a lot of Lagoon. He has a few world records in the Lagoon campaign as well. And with that, he is a very experienced Lagoon player, especially on the wood surface. And now we have the super, super fast roller coaster section here. This one requires absolutely fast reflexes and godlike precision. Very, very difficult to get that right. And Piotrunio has just shown us how to do it. Very, very nicely done here by Piotrunio. But yeah, Kulisa is leading with 89, Piotrunio with 74. Then we see Lars and Mime with 67 and 66 points respectively. Kulisa is looking good, but will he be able to actually take it home? The pressure is now obviously on, especially with difficult maps like these. Anything can happen. So let's take a look here at the first round. Tight approaches here by everyone. Nice precision. Lars has dropped down. And being unlucky in one of the previous rounds maybe did take away his confidence a little bit. Right now he does find himself 0.3 behind, while all of the other drivers from Poland are literally inside of each other at the moment. Let's see if Lars is going to be able to make a comeback here. Not the greatest line here. A little bit imprecise there by the German player. Going through the loop, where it's also pretty easy to lose control. Piotrunio with the first bonk there, falling back now. And now it is the fight for first between Kulisa and Mime. Neck and neck battle going into the first roller coaster section. Just a little drop down there. So nothing too exciting. Kulisa now touching the wall on the inside. And that is the opportunity for Mime to get 10 valuable points. Oh, Kulisa with the next bonk, but the other drivers are way too far behind here. And that will mean that the positions are set in stone. Mime wins in front of Kulisa, Piotrunio, and Lars. And we hear a different soundtrack as well. The cool thing about Lagoon, and in fact every TrackMania 2 title, is that depending on the track's mood, there is a different OST. And you don't get to hear the Lagoon OST in Night a lot. Because, yeah, there aren't a lot of Lagoon maps in first place, but especially Night maps are pretty rare. So it's nice to listen to this one again. Piotrunio with a big mistake, and this is a part where you definitely don't want to crash, because here is where all the speed buildup happens. So Piotrunio will be out of this one for now. Kulisa in the lead, tightly pursued by Lars. Mime now with a mistake as well, and that is also a bad place to crash because it was right in front of an uphill. Lars is now leading, taking advantage from a small bonk by Kulisa, and Lars definitely needs those 10 points here. Down we go. Oh, Lars with a bit of a speed deficit here, it looks like. 2800s between the two players. Up the roller coaster we go. And now everything will be decided here. Precision is super important. We see Kulisa actually going for a little bit of a speed boost line, and Lars touching the wall on the inside there in the 180. And that is the gifted 10-pointer for Kulisa. 106.49. And with that, he will break through the 100-point barrier. 105 for Kulisa, coming one step closer to winning this cup. Greatly executed speed boost line by Kulisa though. This is something that I talked about earlier. Whenever a roller coaster starts to bend or twist or move in whatever direction that's not exactly straight or flat, then you can do certain movements with the car to alter its weight transfer. And with that you can increase or improve the car's acceleration and cause these quote-unquote speed boosts. They're not really speed boosts, but they just help to keep the car in balance, because the Lagoon car suspension is very sensitive when it comes to things like these. When Lagoon has been discovered, we thought it was just random, but now, 4 years after Lagoon has been released for the first time with TrackMania Turbo, people now know more about how to force these speed boosts in the roller coaster sections. And that is what Kulisa has been putting to a portray there. But yeah, let's just stop talking there for a minute. We have an insane battle between Lars and Mime here going into the final roller section right now. We see Lars with a slight advantage. Mime must have made a bit of a mistake there, so Lars might be able to get the 10 points here. Final corner coming up for the German player, and he will clock in a 1:05.92. Great time by the German player. Kulisa on second, Mime on third, and Piotrunio will get last. But great effort by Lars, who is currently last in the scoreboard. But with this, he will go up to second place. That was a very important move right there. And Kulisa is now up to 111 points. Kulisa needs one more victory to unlock finalist mode. Finalist mode meaning that you need to win another round to secure your position. And in this case, it means to secure the victory in the Lagoon Champions Cup, sorry. So Kulisa needs that first place in this round. If he doesn't get first, you will need another round. And that is, of course, the opportunity for the other players to close in a little bit more, to do some further damage. We have a nice battle going on here. Let's take a look. The loop is quite crucial as well. Lars with a very good loop line right there will get the advantages. Now Lars might be hot. Kulisa on second, Mime on third, but Lars making a mistake in the roller coaster part. And that is, of course, right in front of the freewheel as well. Lucky for him that Piotrunio is too far behind to do any sort of damage at the moment. Fight for third is pretty hot. Apart from that, the positions are set in stone. And Kulisa will win the round with a 1:06.03, and he will be the first finalist of the Lagoon Champions Cup. He is now finalist, and we are going into a new rotation. Back to Omniphobia, where Kulisa has shown a few weaknesses actually when we saw this the first time. So maybe this is actually not Kulisa's best map, and this could be the opportunity for Lars, for Piotrunio, and for Mime to come closer and maybe deny Kulisa his finalist rounds a few times. We see Kulisa already with the O curva in the chat. That is not the greatest sign there. O curva usually does not mean a positive thing. And this could be the opportunity. 92 for Lars, 88 for Piotrunio, 87 for Mime. Only 5 points. So Lars, Piotrunio and Mime have been super balanced throughout the entire match. But Kulisa has been heavily benefiting from the wood map. What separates Kulisa from the other drivers at the moment is the wood map. Because apart from that, every player is very even on the other maps. So let's see what's going to happen here. Back to Omniphobia. We have seen this track already. The players are hopefully warmed up enough here to compete. And we see Lars with a solid warm-up round right here, clocking in a 101.01. 101.010. Look at that beautifully looking time. Lars is looking hot. Is he the one to deny Kulisa a few times? We see Kulisa with his first finalist attempt. Let's put the camera on him. Kulisa, a player who is also playing a lot of Stadium. And he found love in Lagoon pretty much as soon as it got released. And now he can finally prove his love to his favorite environment. What a nice line here by Kulisa. Super tight to that inside wall. Right now, Lars is the only one who can contest him. But Kulisa fails to snap out of that drift as he gets onto the road piece. And he will actually retire the round. That is not the most clever thing to do, because Lars can still possibly die. Kulisa writing beep slide in the in-game chat. Unbelievable. Retiring rounds is something you should never ever do. Because Lagoon is such an unforgiving environment that anything can easily happen. Nothing is lost until the fat lady sings. But Lars is looking hot. Still. 101.6 by Lars. Piotrunio on second. And Mime will finish here as well. The first finals attempt went down the pooper for Kulisa for Team Duck SP. Lars now up to 102. He still needs 2 rounds ideally to match Kulisa to get up to finals himself. Piotrunio with 94 needs 1 more round, and Mime with 91 is still within range as well. Let's go into round number 2. Great start here for Mime, for Lars, and for Piotrunio. Kulisa is falling behind a little bit. Kulisa is known for losing his nerves sometimes. So hopefully he will not fall into a tilt situation. Now this part, which he didn't get very nicely in the previous round here, we see that he did that counter steer movement to get out of that slide. And now with a nicely done inside line here, still in the mix. But oh, Lars is dead. And now this is the 1v1 between Mime and Kulisa. Kulisa attacking on the inside here on the wood part, but Mime will have the upper hand here for the moment. It will all be decided in the last third of the track. Kulisa not with the greatest entry into that 180 wood part. We see Lars being completely dead. Piotrunio is 0.4 behind. Mime not with the greatest entry into the beach part. Kulisa is 1 turn away from winning the Lagoon Champions Cup. We see Piotrunio with the attack on the inside, and we might actually see Piotrunio deny. What an ending by Piotrunio. I did not see that coming. And Piotrunio will actually deny Kulisa the finalist attempt. Holy shit. Piotrunio out of nowhere with the kamikaze inside line on the wooden part, and Kulisa gets denied again, and that must hurt. That must hurt real big for Kulisa as he now gets denied for the 2nd time. Kulisa dead! That is unbelievable! Lars, Mime and Piotrunio on their way. The choo-choo train to deny Kulisa another time. Lars with 105, Piotrunio 104, Mime is dead as well! And now it is only Lars and Piotrunio left, with a 1 second gap. And Lars needs to be experienced enough to know that he does not have to take any sort of risks anymore at this part. He is 1.2 seconds ahead. Kulisa is still driving though, so at least he didn't retire. So So we see another 10 points most likely being distributed to the German player. Lars still on Kulisa's tail. Piotrunio not with the greatest ending this time, but a second place will be more than sufficient to stay in the race. Lars up to 115 points. Piotrunio now up to 110. So we could possibly... No, we couldn't. Could we? Wait, let's do the quick math. If Piotrunio wins and Lars gets second, we might see a triple finalist if Kulisa messes up again. We could see triple finalists, actually. Oh boy. Well, here we go. Kulisa is still finalist, and that must hurt. At this point, Kulisa really wants to get done with this. It is his worst map though, so maybe he's just hopefully trying to get it done here. But if not, then he wants to make it over on the upcoming track. Piotrunio with a great start right now, 0.1 ahead, but he opts for a very wide approach on the grass part. I'm not sure if that was intended, but he will recover and he's back in the lead here. Lars in second place with a very inside line there, almost making contact with that inside barrier. Kulisa now attacking on that tarmac part here. He is still in the mix, but we see Piotrunio and Lars not giving up, wanting to deny Kulisa one more time. We have a three-man battle here for that first place. Piotrunio going wide, Kulisa with the inside line, going up to P2 at the moment. Now it will all be decided in the ending. Kulisa with a low speed, with a very aggressive line on the beach part there, and it looks like Kulisa is finally gonna win here after getting denied 3 times. It is Kulisa finally, with the big relief, getting an insane ending where he went completely over the water in that beach section. And for those who listened earlier, that water is so much faster than the actual sand. And Kulisa did finally make use of it. That was so close to throwing it away. And that was some hot Lagoon driving right here. Who would have thought? Lagoon Champions Cup being won by Duck SP Kulisa from Poland. All the practice has finally paid off. Kulisa was very excited about this cup. He practiced a lot and now he has gotten the trophy. He will win 15 euro. Not too shabby. And now we will have the decision for the second, third and fourth position. Lars is finalist now. The German player could possibly win 10 euro here out of the Lagoon Champions Cup hosted by Bresso. Piotrunio with 113. If he denies Lars by winning this round, he's also going to become a finalist. So there's still a possibility for a double finalist situation. But for Mime, it is currently looking a bit dire. He is at 103. Mathematically still possible. But if I recall correctly, in the first rotation, this was not his greatest map either. Even though he does have a good time in Dedimania. But that doesn't say a lot. So here we go. German player Lars with finals attempt number 1. All eyes on him. Kind of hard to see in the roller coaster at the start. A little bit of a better line here by Mime, getting more speed out of that roller coaster. Oh, that looks hard to control there. Mime dead. Mime is dead. And that will leave us with Lars and Piotrunio. However, there's a 1 second difference between Piotrunio and Lars. This could be the early GG at this point already. Lars should know that he has that advantage. He will probably turn his HUD on. He might have Marius in the voice chat as well. Oof, that was dangerously close right there. But he will stay alive and we will come closer and closer to the finish line there. Lars with a few corners remaining. Left, right, and up the jump we go. That looks good for Lars, horning the Sparkasse anthem. And there you go, Lars wins second place in the Lagoon Champions Cup. GG. Piotrunio with the slap in the face. 119 points. Poor Piotrunio is not there yet. He still needs to finish one more round to become finalist. And then there's Mime with 107, who still has the chance to take home €5 for that third place, but he needs to start winning rounds and he needs to stop making mistakes. Nice roller coaster part. Got a bit of a speed boost there. And here he manages to not hit anything this time around. Mime currently leading 1600ths of a second between the two Polish players. Next roller coaster section a little bit more precise here by Mime, who gets away a little bit further. 1800ths now. Looking good so far. But there are still plenty of dangerous spots that can potentially ruin someone's run here. Both opting for the inside line. Piotrunio touching. That was a bit too much risk there. But the only thing he needs to do is to finish, as long as he ensures that he will be finalist in the next round. Oh, Piotrunio. That was not that good of an ending. But he will be finalist now. Mime with 117 needs to win 2 rounds in a row. So this could potentially be the final round of the Lagoon Champions Cup 2020. Mime versus Piotrunio. Poland versus Poland. Slightly different approaches right there. We see Mime not tapping the brake. And Piotrunio will tap the brake. Oh, and he touches the wall. That is the opportunity for Mime, but he goes dangerously close to the left and Mime is dead. This is the GG. This is the early GG. Unless Piotrunio throws it away. Are you kidding me? Piotrunio with the throw of his life. He clipped the edge and he's dead. Giving Mime a chance to actually get third in this cup. What a throw. Ay, 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 ay. And this is most likely going to haunt Piotrunio's dreams. You hate to see it. He is going to have terrible memories of this moment. And here we see Mime, 105.55. That is not the time you usually win rounds with, but for this, it was actually enough. Piotrunio blaming it on stress. Completely understandable. And we have the double finalist situation now. Who will win third? Who will get home with €5? Fourth place will not win anything. So now this is the €5 round. Piotrunio again with a slow start. And he struggles to keep control over his car, snapping back and forth multiple times. Now this is the part where we've seen multiple mistakes happen. Piotrunio almost snapping into the wall there. That was very, very dangerous, but he can still be in the mix here. It is not decided yet. Mistakes can still happen, but Mime is in the lead with a comfortable 0.3 lead. But where's his speed? Mime has lost speed mysteriously, and now the gap has shrunk to a 0.1 lead. Everything will be decided in the ending. Piotrunio, of course, having to risk it a lot. He needs pixel-perfect turns now. He's attacking a lot right there. You can see that he's pushing really hard. It will all come down to the ending now. Mime versus Piotrunio. The €5 round will be decided at the entry into the finish line here. Who is it going to be? It is going to be Mime, who stays ahead by 10th. Mime wins. €5 will get third in the Lagoon Champions Cup. And Piotrunio, unfortunately, not able to keep his cool and will, sadly, go home with the aluminum medal on 4th place. GG to Kulisa, who is the champion. Lars gets second in front of Mime and Piotrunio. GG.